Good afternoon and good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and Coffee Stream episode 383. And it is Wednesday, and it is Canadian Wednesday. And I have with me Dr. Functional. How are you, sir?
Blame Canada, blame Canada. They're not
Right?
even a real country anyway.
We're not
Hi.
acting like a real country. Fuck.
God, it's embarrassing sometimes. Like
We,
when people are like, "Oh, but you're Canadian," I'm like, "Okay, we have really good standards for education and health and life expectancy and blah blah blah, and scientific discovery." Today, it's just sort of like, "Yeah, you're right."
right. It's we've got and it's so ridiculous because on Monday I read an article and watched a Viva Fry video about there are Peel Region, the public health unit of Peel Region has decided to issue this lovely gem of COVID advice.
I can't wait.
If your child has been sent home because somebody in their class has tested positive for COVID, you must isolate your child from the household.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So if
Isolate your child from the household.
yes, so your child, even though they were not sick and they were just sent home as a precaution, they must be isolated from the family for 14 days.
How? What do you want them to do? Send them to their grandparents?
No, you have
The
to
people
lock
who are least led at risk?
you have to lock them in their room. And this
Also, the
is
government's telling us to ground our kids now.
basically, yeah, you basically must lock them in their room, um, and only communicate to them via like cell phone, or if they're younger, like baby monitor. Like there are tweets of parents putting their 5-year-olds in the basement because they've got sent home.
And how is this not child abuse?
There are experts from across Canada who are blowing up at Peel Region, like
As they should.
pediatric experts and child psychologists that are like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is not scientifically backed up. Like, there's no science behind this.
There's a reason why we call them dependents.
Yeah,
Because a 5-year-old is not going to be able to manage on his own.
yeah.
Hell, I know 10-year-olds that wouldn't be able to you couldn't just lock them in their room all day, every day.
Yeah, like Viva Fry had tweets in his pinned comments that were of parents that were like, "It's breaking my heart to hear my kids crying over the baby monitor that they're lonely." And it's like, why would you do that? I'm sorry, if the government told me I have to isolate my child from the rest of their family because some kid in their class has COVID, I would tell them to fuck off. And then and if they told me they were gonna fine me, I would take them to fucking the provincial court. I would take it
Right,
to the Supreme Court if I had to.
right. Because that's cruel and unusual punishment for a child. That's illegal.
Yeah,
They're demanding and then subsequently possibly fining you to commit a crime.
yeah,
Jeez, like I know Peel Region is fucked up. Like, no, seriously, like the police, they were one of the first police who said, "Oh, well, we're still going to enforce police action on people for possession of marijuana, even though it's been federally decriminalized."
wow, really?
Yeah. Oh, dude, even when I was a kid, buddy of mine was driving down the street, got pulled over because he was speeding. He was like 5 kilometers over us, like he was doing 65 in a 60. Whoop de doo. And wasn't smoking, wasn't anything, but had like the cop saw he had a little roach in his ashtray.
Mm-hmm.
He got 200 hours of community service.
Good God,
This is pre decriminalization, but yeah, they're a
that's
bunch
still
of
ridiculous.
yeah, because it was a city council, not city council, the region council thing mandate that they were they were tough on drugs. It's like, really? Come on. And Peel Region, oh my God. I mean, I don't know anything about their health outlet, but I know, in Toronto's health outlet, they've been caught several times lying about COVID numbers, lying about the science of it all. It's
Yeah.
like, who do you trust?
You can't trust anybody with this stuff. And the crappy thing is the minute you point any of this shit out, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist. No, I'm just looking for the truth, motherfucker. Like, what the hell? Why is it that the minute somebody just questions something, they're a conspiracy theorist?
Oh, right. Or, I mean, I've told you I have some breathing problems. I have a diminished lung capacity, so wearing a mask is very tough, especially if I have to do errands. So I'm walking a lot, carrying stuff, whatever, something that's very physical, which is a chore unto itself. But then you're making me put a mask on. It already states in the Toronto bylaw that people with medical reasoning, they don't need to provide said reasoning, but it is a valid excuse to not and appropriate to not wear the mask. Yet I get yelled at by store owners, except for the guy who I know at the corner who sells me my tobacco, the building staff in the apartment I live, even the Uber drivers. I've called Uber directly after 3 hours of trying to get a direct line saying, look, I'm a disabled person with a diminished lung capacity. I cannot wear a mask. Can you put a note on my account? Oh, yeah, sure. No problem. Thank you for letting us know. Next Uber I get into, why aren't you wearing a mask? I'm exempt from the order because I even called Uber. It should be on my account notes. I don't see anything there. So next time you should probably think about wearing a mask.
Oh my God. I can't wear a mask, you asshole.
This whole thing is driving people insane. And, you can blame where the virus came from all you want. But when it boils down to brass tacks, it's the people enforcing these mandates and these asinine, unscientifically proven measures who are the true people to blame, who are causing more harm to people than the virus ever did. I'm sorry that your grandmother or your friend or whoever died while they had COVID.
Yeah.
I truly am sorry, but we don't isolate the entirety of society because one person catches AIDS or because one person has cancer.
Yeah.
So why are we doing it for the coof, which is...
Quite frankly, it doesn't matter where it came from. It's here.
Yeah.
And we cannot act like it's Ebola or bubonic plague or smallpox, because it's not.
Yeah, because it's not.
And we really are. That's how we're acting. We're acting as though this is Ebola or something with a 50% death rate. We're acting like this is hantavirus,
And you look at the annual death statistics, they're well within the norm.
Yep.
They haven't increased at all.
No.
Canada, the United States, they have not increased. It's basically, there are exceptions to the rule, but it's basically just accelerated people who are near death anyway, or have severe medical complications. And that exacerbated them to the point where, sorry, they died.
Which is tragic, but it's not.
It's not something worth shutting down an entire country for and ruining it for generations to come. Because there's the financial aspect, there's the health aspect, and in that health aspect, the mental health aspect. Suicide rates have skyrocketed. Depression rates have skyrocketed.
Yeah.
We're not talking a few points here. We're talking doubling, tripling in some regions. People, and it's not just like mandates or something, but somebody who, a family I know, lost their store.
Yeah.
And I really worry about them because I haven't seen them since this all started, since they were forced to close their store and then subsequently give up their business because Well, they have operating costs even if they're closed.
Right.
They can't afford it. I sit here wondering, have they lost their house? Have they, how is their mental state? How is their, how is their depression if they've gotten any? They've lost everything. They're an older Korean couple. They can't just, learn to code or, get a Mick job.
Well, and it's also you have to think about it. There's the culture of that strong work ethic from that part of the world,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh yeah.
And then you lose that job, your business that you worked hard for, and then you are dealing with depression over that, and that is, that's a super hard thing to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got you it's oh, there's someone in TikTok, from TikTok, is in chat. They're saying the same thing is happening over here. The country is likely to shut down again. Yeah,
Where's
I
that,
think they're
Nadia?
from
UK?
UK.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because I've been seeing a lot of stuff from, people like Sargon and Omegon
Yeah.
and the news articles, and we're in a happy median between the United States and the UK. It seems happy, very used very loosely, but they seem to be worse off than we are
Yeah.
nationally, which is sad. You have a church's chicken, Pincalo?
Wait, what?
Sorry,
What did he
I
say?
hear. He just noticed that they have a church's chicken. I hear fried chicken and my ears just go what?
Ooh, Church's chicken. I haven't had Church's chicken in a long time.
I like Mary Brown's personally.
I actually tried Popeyes, I think, for the first time, and it was pretty good.
Maybe it's always made me sick because they use buttermilk batter, and I'm allergic to dairy, so I didn't
That
realize that
sucks.
until after I got sick. I looked it up and I was like, oh, I'm gonna stick with the ones I know.
Yeah. You gonna play some games, buddy? Okay, don't yell too much.
Then.
I've got
Mommy is working.
so the 6-year-old, yesterday, just before my Beat the Blind Girl stream was supposed to start, I get a call from his school saying, um, you need to come and pick up Alex. He tripped and fell and split his chin open. And so Pincalo went across the street and picked him up, and thankfully they didn't need to take him to the doctor or anything like that. He was able to doctor it up, at home with some new skin and some polysporin and bandages. But he's still a bit swollen in the jaw area. So we kept him home today just to keep him resting. There's the story I was looking for. Okay, let's see here. Oh, did Functional have to mute, or did he have to back out? Let me go check.
No, I'm here. Sorry, I muted myself. I was responding to an email and I just didn't
Oh,
want you to hear the
no
clickety
worries,
click
no
click
worries,
click
no
click.
worries. I was worried that you had dropped and I wasn't on the StreamYard page, and I was like, oh no, what if he's trying to get back in? So yeah, so because of that Peel interesting that whole Peel story,
Mhm.
Pincalo sent me a story that says that Ontario is apparently backing this. So the Ontario government is apparently backing this memo from Peel Health. So
Of course they are, because Ford
we're
is
gonna
such a
I'm gonna
dumbass.
share screen and we're gonna take a look at this.
But
Just
as much
take a
as
look at this.
I hate Ford, I hated Win even more.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Win was Awful.
Who's this Mogwai looking?
Let's
She
see.
like the Ontario health minister?
So Ontario backs. Oh wait, where did the headline? Ontario backs isolation of potentially exposed children, but says common sense needed. How can you back isolation of potentially exposed children, and then say common sense is needed in the same sentence?
Common sense is needed to completely oppose isolating children.
I don't understand that sentence. The Ontario government says parents need to use common sense in when it comes to isolating children who have been dismissed from class or childcare because they may have been exposed to COVID-19. But health officials apparently believe it's still best for kids to be completely isolated alongside one caregiver, and then for both of them to be kept away from the rest of the family. How does
This
that work?
this is the epitome of paranoia. Oh, potentially.
So a kid and one parent is supposed to lock themselves away. One parent, or maybe even a sibling, an older sibling.
And not even that they tested positive.
And that,
Again,
yeah,
just because potentially.
yeah,
Uh,
this is awful. We know that if somebody may have COVID-19, we would like them to be isolated for up to 14 days, said Dr. Barbara Yaff. Ha, Yaff. Um, as said Dr. Barbara Yaff, Ontario's Associate Chief Medical Officer of Health at a news conference on Monday. However, we obviously understand that you can't leave a child alone. You have to use common sense.
Pincalo's got the
Then,
right idea, though. He could use this as an excuse to go to the cottage and go fishing. Like if
mhm,
one of your youngins has to be isolated, he'll just be like, "Come on, kiddo, we're going to the cottage for 2 weeks."
yeah, that's true. Piccolo could just
But I
Pin-
mean, realistically, not everybody's got cottages. A lot of people are back to work.
well, and even if Piccolo did do that, go to the cottage for 2 weeks, he wouldn't be able to work, right? And
Yeah, exactly. Your income becomes diminished substantially. I mean, there's just so many complications. It's so stupid.
unless we all
How
said fuck it and we went to the cottage and I just stayed with the kids and he just drove from the hour away.
it's I mean, this is typical. I mean, I hate to say it, but Liberal Party and now Conservative Party, because they're the same coin, they're even becoming the same side of
Yeah,
this
they are.
coin of being completely contradictory in a single sentence.
Yeah,
Use common sense, but do something completely paranoid and completely ridiculous.
yeah. I don't understand. I don't understand the idea behind this. So it says Yath offered no insight as to what the government interpretation of common sense might entail.
Good Fox.
Hey, Gunfox. The comments come after Peel Region Health apologized for issuing previous guidelines to parents instructing them to isolate their children, even small ones, completely alone from anyone for 14 days.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
bet you did.
I bet you apologized. Because if I was a parent in Peel Region, I'd be leading a riot.
Oh, what we suggested is completely illegal? Oh, maybe we should issue an apology. Yeah, okay. Maybe you should step the F down from your position because you're clearly a psychopath
Yeah.
who believes that endangering children
Well, and
is an okay statement to release to people because you're in a position of power.
and kids have been severely affected by this. Like the
Mm-hmm.
the the whole last year of being not allowed to be in school from March break until September, basically last year, it really threw a lot of kids for a loop. And like, and I mean kids who don't have special needs, right? Like kids who aren't having trouble are having trouble this year. And like
Oh yeah.
my son, my oldest, is, you know, he's got some issues and he's behind in certain things, and COVID just didn't help. It didn't help at all.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole paranoia is just ridiculous. All right, Nadia, have a good day.
Yeah, because I mean, they're called the formative years for a reason. I said this to Harry the other night on Minions. It's
Yeah.
like or sorry, it was with I rate prostate on Sunday. When a really good kid, somebody who excels, who's very intelligent and has a lot of potential, that isn't nurtured, they fall harder and faster than the rest. But that isn't to say that other kids, if they have that slide, that they're not going to fall as well. And you can go top to bottom, even the best kids to the worst kids.
Mm-hmm.
You can see nosediving
Yeah.
because of not only they're not getting nurtured intellectually and educationally, but in in combination with the depression and the isolation and these weird, oh, you have to mask up every time you go out kind of things, like that scares children.
Yeah.
So you're shoveling 10 pounds of shit onto a 1 pound bag and telling parents to deal with the aftermath. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. The government is being increasingly and incredibly reckless with this whole thing, and I don't care what it takes. Each one of them should be forced to resign from their positions because they flubbed everything, top to bottom. I don't care if you're a regional mayor or Justin Trudeau herself. I mean, I get it. And people should know by now, I don't like him. Very few people do like him. But I'm sorry, you flubbed it backwards, forwards, left, right, up, down. You flubbed this whole situation. That should be enough for your resignation as a public servant, as an elected official.
And we as the people, like, I know this is a kind of an untreaded thing because the last really major pandemic we had, none of us were alive for. And
Yeah.
we don't remember, like, but we should be demanding wholesale resignations as
Yeah.
as the public. We should be calling for outright resignations of ministers and members of cabinet, and like we should be up in arms about how we're being treated. And it's so frustrating to see so much of the citizenry just go like, oh well.
Mm-hmm. Even in the face of people being snatched,
Yeah.
isolated by force, under quarantine by the federal government, without any contact to their family or friends.
And
It doesn't have to be physical contact. They're not allowed to even call their family.
And there are stories coming out now of the security that is being put in place for these, quote, isolation hotels. The security staff, like the that have been hired, are raping women.
Oh, geez. I didn't hear about that. I did hear about some people who have tried to escape the isolation, were tracked down by police, dragged back to the hotel room, and then had a guard posted outside their
I've
room.
heard.
An
But
armed guard.
there's also stories coming out of sexual assault and rape by these guards.
Gee, I wonder where they found these guards.
Mm-hmm.
Probably had an open call to all the people who've been displaced from their MIC jobs and warehouse jobs, and to make a little bit of scratch on the side. Yeah, you could just guard people, and then there's probably one guard on duty who's probably a real piece of work, and then he thinks, oh, nobody knows, and who's gonna, and then they take advantage of this. That's disgusting to hear.
Yeah. It's it's a mess. This whole thing is a mess. And we sit there, and the hubris of Canadians to sit there and scoff at places like Texas who are reopening. And they're like, "Oh, well, they're just going to all die." And it's like, "You fucking sheep. You how can you not it's it's not like it's not like the governor has said shoot anyone wearing a mask. He said it's up to you. He said
We're
if
open
you
for business. We're
yeah,
going back to normal. Whatever precautions you want to take as an
yeah,
individual,
go
you
ahead
are
and
well
take
within
them.
your rights to do.
Yeah.
Have at it,
He,
Hoss.
he he
And
didn't he didn't say shoot on sight anyone wearing a mask, you know? Like it's
yeah, and that's where we should have been 6 months ago.
yeah.
But instead, we're thinking like this thing just hit the national stage, so we're locking down people. Well, no, again, as I've said on the show before, if this isolation happened at the outset of the COVID spread, I could have got behind it
Yeah.
in a sense because I'm like, okay, we don't know what's going on. We don't know much about the virus yet. Let's isolate people who are coming home
Yeah.
and just take our precautions. Okay.
But
There's a right way to do it, but we
we
didn't.
didn't do that. We didn't do
We
that.
did
We were
the
like,
exact opposite. We
yeah.
just told them, "Bye. Stay. You might want to consider staying home for 14 days
Yeah.
just to make sure." But no, no
It,
isolation, no checking that these people are doing it properly, etc.
ooh, Duck Dog says good news. I got your coffee. Do you have a grinder? Not yet, but I can have Pink Hollow pick up a coffee grinder very easily from Canadian Tire.
I've got two. One's for coffee.
I know what the other one's for.
Cat
um,
food. Cat food,
yes,
people.
it's for
Cat food.
cat food. It's for legal cat food. Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, this whole thing is just it's driving me crazy. The amount of people that are laughing at places like Texas and while we're being locked the fuck down, and it's like, how can you do that? Are you that stupid? And of course, the answer is yes. So yeah, that's that's that. What is Selecta Boy saying here? That's what it should have been. Yeah, exactly, Selecta Boy, exactly. Yeah, Duck Dog, I'll get Pink Hollow to pick up a coffee grinder. Cause you can get them for like $10 at Canadian Tire. Canadian Tire is
Yeah.
awesome.
You probably saw. Oh well, you didn't see the video of a guy in a Canadian Tire getting completely manhandled and choked out.
No.
Oh boy, I think it had something to do with the mask. He pulled his mask down and started talking back. And it's like, again, you don't know this person's condition. They might be having trouble breathing, an essential part of being alive. I don't know the circumstances around it, but what was clear was the response by the security guard or police officer or whoever the hell it was completely disproportionate.
Wow. You pull your mask down. Let's choke out a person. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Welcome to the glorious People's Republic of Kanukistan.
right. So apparently Amazon had a problem with its app icon. Um,
Oh,
Pinkalo sent me this.
oh
Um,
lordy.
so this says Amazon tweaks app icon after comparisons made to Hitler.
Let me guess. There was one dumbass on Twitter who was like, "Oh my god, it looks like a Hitler mustache," which says more about that person than it does about the icon. Because, blind, I'll tell you, the icon doesn't. It doesn't. No, no.
Yeah,
Only a moron who's a completely paranoid schizophrenic who thinks there's Nazis hiding under the bed would
yeah,
would would have thought that.
yeah. Because it's got a picture of the app logo up here to headline the article. And then it says Amazon has changed its new smartphone app logo after critics said that its former incarnation was a dead ringer for Hitler.
Okay,
Okay.
New York Post. Which is I hate to read ahead already, but you're already contradicting yourself 3 lines down because it says, quote, "It's not just rich Scotch tape. It's a rich Scotch tape that has a similar shape and is right on top of a smiling mouth. Looks like a happy little cardboard Adolf Hitler." One person said on Twitter.
Oh my god.
That's
Of
your critics.
course.
These are
One
the
person.
morons who once were in insane asylums or in mental health care facilities for being such paranoid schizophrenics who have now been released. Then they access Twitter and they have this megaphone. It's ruining society.
Twitter to me is like that scene in Life of Brian when you walk down through the square and everybody's on soapboxes and they've got their different thing that they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like that on crack.
Yeah.
It's like everybody has just got their own soapbox and they're just screaming whatever they want into the ether.
It's a great tool,
Yeah,
but has been grossly mismanaged and grossly misused.
yeah,
So it's doing a lot more harm than good.
absolutely.
Sorry, I had to pop a fruit chew. I was getting hungry.
No worries. I know my cat sucks. My cat's a princess.
Eat the cat, Piccolo.
Eat the cat, says.
I don't like to use the litter box.
How did I just read what? There's somebody in TikTok or from TikTok asking how I just read that.
Oh, she's got a screen reader.
Yeah, I've got my screen reader on my phone reading the comments. I just have it turned way down. That's why you see me pick up my phone and do this.
That's how she can read chat, folks. It's wonderful what technology used appropriately can do for people. It's uplifted our lives immeasurably,
Oh yeah, it's just also
especially people like us who have a certain abnormality. Like, now that I can't walk as much, I require a lot more delivery.
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm an Amazon Prime member and use that for half of the goods I need to buy in a given month, and then the other half is like Walmart, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So this says, but sharp-eyed users noticed the tape disturbingly recalled the Fuhrer's toothbrush mustache. It's tape! It's tape. And then there's the line that you read.
Yeah.
Amazon's new app logo be looking like there's a third most downloaded in the Reich section. Oh god, another said, referring to the Nazi regime. What a Jesus Christ! People are stupid.
I wonder what we'd find if we did a deep dive on these persons' Twitter accounts. Oh my God, Trump's a Nazi! Oh my God, this person said that Black Lives Matter is ruining the country and riots are wrong. They're a Nazi. Like, they're probably screaming, calling everybody Nazis.
You know what I've noticed lately, and so has Pink Hollow, is that most of these people that, scream about anti-bullying, Black Lives Matter, women's rights, LGBTQ, whatever, like when they have all that shit in their profile, they turn out to act like just such horrible people when you disagree with them. Or one of the biggest issues that I've found is over on TikTok. Whenever I go live, there is always a group of people that show up, and it's not just me, it's any disabled person that goes live on TikTok, gets groups of trolls in their lives trying to get them to end the live, trying to get them to get upset and whatever. And it's just, and most of these people have, you know, the Black Lives Matter fist in their picture. They have, you know,
Because they're Marxist terrorists.
they have the rainbow flag in their profile. They have, you know, no bullying or whatever. And the minute a disabled person shows up, they turn into the scum of the earth. The minute somebody disagrees with them, they turn into the scum of the earth.
Because they're massive projectionists. They are those people that they are the bullies. They are the hateful, racist, bigoted people.
Yeah.
And that's why they run around screaming that everybody else is, because they think somehow it's going to take the pressure off of them. But again, places like Twitter, like Facebook, they nurture these people and protect these people.
Yeah.
Even when they violate their own rules. The other day on Facebook, I was just commenting on something my aunt had posted. Somebody called me a derogatory, like they were, derogatorily referring to me, white this, white that.
Yeah.
And I reported them. Oh no, nothing wrong here.
No.
Nothing to see here. Move along. Move along.
Well, you're white, and so people can't possibly be mean to you.
I'm only half white. That's the funny thing. The other half is fucking Arab. I mean, again, it's, like half. Just because the color of my skin doesn't matter about my ethnicity, the color of my skin. So I've read stories, local paper stuff, of very light-skinned or even albino black people.
Yep.
Who get called white.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and this isn't racism? You're basically, oh my God, it's mind-boggling. And there is a distinct difference between an Ashkenazi Jew and an Irishman.
Oh, yeah.
Or an Italian and an Italian and German. Italian, German, French. These are different. A Nordic person is very, even physically, genetically, not very different, but different enough to be different than an Ashkenazi Jew.
Yeah.
Or Sephardic Jew, or a Spanish person. Because remember, Spanish people are white.
Yep.
When Americans colloquially use the term like Spanish or Hispanic, they're referring to the Spanish people who intermixed with the Mesoamericans in South America.
Yeah.
So even they are part white, and you can see again on Twitter, the more light-skinned Latinos, if they say the wrong thing, oh, you're a white supremacist, you're a Nazi, you're the vitriol. Whew. Well, no, they'll treat them like they're white first off, and then they'll say, I'm actually Latino.
Yeah.
I'm from South America. I'm from Brazil.
Like,
and
gotten that. And
yeah.
Cuban.
She's Cuban.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, I don't, and it's, I keep getting asked in my lives over on TikTok, do you support BLM? Do you support LGBT? And I'm like, I don't support movements. I don't support movements. Movements, even when they have good intentions, always go wrong.
And what would you like me to support from them? Everything? Yeah. No.
I'm like,
would you like me to support equal rights, regardless of your ethnicity or sexual orientation? Yeah, but we have that.
Exactly.
It's called the law.
And I say, like, what I say is, I support individuals who are good people, who show respect and carry themselves with respect and treat people the way they want to be treated, regardless of what color they are, or what's between their legs, or who they fuck. I don't care. if you're a good person, I support you. I don't support you or not support you based on characteristics you have no control over. That's like saying I support you because you have 2 legs and 2 arms. Or I don't support you because you have 2 legs and 2 arms. Like,
Hmm.
what? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, long gone are the logical and rational days of treating someone as a perfectly fine individual, regardless of whether they're normal or have a disability or what have you. And yes, I do use that term normal because there is a normal. And just because something is abnormal doesn't make it wrong.
Yeah.
And we treated, like, I'm sure growing up, we always treated people based on their merit. Are you a good person? Then I'm going to treat you fine, regardless of whether you're blind or a cripple or normal or black or white or Asian. Doesn't matter. If you're a good person, if you're a friendly person, I'll treat you the same,
Yeah.
all the same. And that's the pervasive. I hate to keep tirading on BLM, but geez, they give us so much ammunition that it permeated the UK, here,
Yeah, it did.
Australia. And I mean, for it to even have started in the United States is redonkulous.
Yeah.
But 4 years previous to Trump, in like 2012, 2013, that same media who today is like, oh my God, so stunning, so brave, they were calling them terrorists,
Mm-hmm.
jokes, very nasty people.
Yep.
And today they're all like, oh, they're heroes. They're standing up for the poor old black man who can't do nothing. It's like, come
Yeah.
on.
It's and the infantilization of people. And they don't see that as racist.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see that as ableist. They don't see that as sexist. Oh, poor women can't do anything without help.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it goes against Western liberal values at its core.
yeah.
That's
It's
why, I hate to be all black pilled, but like I see this happening, and I'm like, this is the downfall of Western civilization as we know it. Not necessarily has to be a destructive thing, like violent, because empires rise and fall all the time, and republics rise and fall all the time, but it's something drastic has to take root to fight against the bad ideas.
yeah. Oh, look at this. Not only is China, torturing and putting Uyghurs in concentration camps, apparently they've ruled that homosexuality can be ruled a mental illness.
Oh, it's just a different culture, BP. They have different cultural norms.
Ugh.
I'm not going to go off on a tirade of China. I've ranted too much already.
Oh, there's just it's so disheartening, the amount of just insanity that's been going on. Like, that's why called the stream today Head Meet Wall, because it feels like you're literally pounding your head against a wall for no reason, because you're, no matter what you do, you try to tell tell people, just to even think for themselves and look at the facts, and they're like, nope, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, they at you. It's
Yeah.
like that. Oh my God! It's just like they'll point at you and go, "Ah!" It's like, why? What is wrong with you people? Like, I understand the need that there's a large enough swath of the population that just want to be coddled by the institutions. That's fine. You give up your freedom just so you can, but to make it mandatory and to impose that on other people is just wrong. It's ethically, morally, and legally wrong.
So, have you heard about Dr. Seuss and the fact that there are some books that are no longer going to be published and sold?
Oh boy, did I ever.
So, uh, here are the wrong illustrations that got 6 Dr. Seuss books canceled. 2 of the 6 permanently pulled from publication currently rank as 2 of the world's best-selling children's books. Wow. So here's a picture. Here's a page from And to Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street. So it says, Dr. Seuss Enterprises, the official manager of books published under the moniker of Dr. Seuss, announced Tuesday that it will no longer be publishing 6 books because it portrays people that in ways that are hurtful and wrong.
And it's literally a guy wearing a traditional Chinese jacket,
Yeah.
holding a bowl with chopsticks in the other hand. He's running. He's got the little triangle hat on. Yeah. And to me, that's educating someone from here, from the West, primarily. That's where his books are, do the best, about other cultures. This is quite antithetical to their narrative that it's racist or bigoted. Like, no, it's quite the opposite. It's educational. Because you know what? People in China do sometimes dress like that. They do sometimes eat with sticks.
Yep.
Hell, half the time I eat with sticks because I like chopsticks better than forks. Because every time I fork myself in the cheek, it stings.
I can't use chopsticks for the life of me.
You know what though? It's weird because someone with muscle tremors, I'm not kidding when I'll poke myself in the cheek or the gums or something or the teeth. Oh my god. With a fork. And it's a hard metal fork. It's going to hurt.
That's got to hurt.
Could possibly do some damage. Right. So at least with chopsticks, they're plastic or wood. And I don't seem to shake as much when my hand is in that position. So it's a whole lot easier for me to eat stuff. Plus, I'm a trained Chinese, Asian style chef. So a lot of the meals I make are very easily adapted and facilitated by chopsticks.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't get the hang of chopsticks. I've tried, and I was eating in a Korean restaurant once, and I tried to eat chopsticks, and
you tried to eat the chopsticks?
No, I tried to eat with the chopsticks.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, and I just couldn't do it, and I had to ask for a fork, and that was, first of all, that was hard because it was a Korean...
Sure. She asked for a fork. She just said, Pinkalis just said, fuck it, use your hands. And she just dove in there like...
No, I did ask
they give
for
you
a fork. But first of all, that was hard because the lady, it was a very Korean restaurant.
Oh, so she barely spoke English.
So first I had to get her to understand me. And then when I said and then when she figured out I needed a fork, she started to laugh because I couldn't use the chopstick.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of
at me.
It's part of the difficulty, but yet part of the greatness of our ethnic society here, especially in Southern Ontario, is that when you go to a place like that, you're getting authentic Korean food.
Yep.
The language barrier, they're trying. They're obviously trying, but it can be a little difficult, but you know what? That's not going to ruin your day. What is going to ruin your day is eating some poor imitation, Korean food.
Style Korean food or
and then thinking that that's Korean or Thai or Chinese. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love Thai food.
Oh, Thai.
That's my favorite Asian cuisine is Thai food.
Thai, yeah.
I find it more filling than Chinese food or Korean food. I find there's a lot more to a Thai dish.
Well, they tend to involve certain ingredients like lemongrass.
Yeah.
Which actually helps to abate your hunger.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so if you had lemongrass tea, It will
Okay.
like if you're hungry, a little lemongrass tea, you won't feel hungry. Yeah, so
Interesting.
it's something I learned while studying how to Thai food, and the heat that they use, the type of Thai chilies they use, are also really good for. They meld really well into the dishes, so that it also tends to spicy food also tends to constrict your stomach. So again, physically making you less hungry.
Very interesting. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Plus, it's just so damn tasty. It's clean, it's fresh, it's very vibrant. The flavors are very well spiced.
Yeah.
I like pho, but man, sometimes I just don't get some of the pho.
Yeah.
Wait. You brought me the ingredients and you want me to make it at the table myself? What the hell am
Yeah.
I paying you for?
Exactly, right?
You could at least make it in the kitchen, fresh pour the broth, or bring me the ingredients and then pour the broth in front of me.
Right.
I mean, which kind of defeats the purpose. I'd rather just before they serve it, pour the broth, bring it out to me. Because at least then it's had the 30 seconds to at least start percolating on the way to the table and I can smell
Yeah.
it and get that, different strokes for different folks. But
Exactly. So this goes on to say the most popular of the 6 titles are 1950s If I Ran the Zoo and the 1937 book If and To Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street, which was the first children's book published under the Dr. Seuss name by Theodore Seuss Geisel. I actually didn't know that was his actual full name until last night when Prospero read this last night.
oh yeah.
And it was published on his birthday. Both books remained in the top 10 most popular children's titles on Amazon.com. So the other titles no longer being published are Matela Gothpool on Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Eggs Super, and the Cat's Quizzer?
Quizzer.
Yeah, the Cat's Quizzer.
You think it's any sort of random happenstance that this happened on his birthday, this sort of cancellation culture?
I wonder.
I literally think that these assholes just sit on Twitter every day and go, okay, who can we fuck with today?
Yeah.
Who needs canceling today? Who can I show the world my massive cock by flexing my power over them?
It's this is ridiculous. Dr. Seuss Enterprises did not specify which illustrations were offensive, but 4 of the publications include cartoon depictions of Asian people, while 3 contain stereotypical portrayals of Inuits. Oh no! If I Ran the Zoo features a young boy imagining a hunting expedition to the fictional land of Subnatal, where Zomba Matan, where locals wear their eyes at a slant. So what? What other pages?
Wait. Asian people have slanted eyes compared to almost every other ethnicity out there? I am shocked. I am shocked and appalled, BP. Did you know about this?
I did know.
Nobody told me. And I feel left out. Because all this time I thought that they were exactly like me in every respect. Oh
Right?
my god. Even I have slanty eyes for a white person.
Other pages also show the African island of Yurka, featuring squat African tribesmen with large hoops through their noses. Oh no! God forbid kids should be shown what other cultures do.
1 second, I've got an important
No
email.
worries. Good, seriously, like, God forbid kids should be shown what other cultures look like and what other people do and how other people dress. Oh my god. Just how the fact that people are seeing racism in this is racist itself, because He was just trying to educate people and show that no matter what people do differently, people are still people.
Yeah, yeah.
That was Dr. Seuss's message, is that despite our differences, that we are still all humans. That was his basic message
Yeah.
in most
No,
of his
it
books.
yeah, and to actually, like I said before, to educate children about different cultures and some of their norms. These aren't stereotypes in China. These aren't stereotypes in the Great White North. Inuit people look like that. They dress like that.
Like
Unless they've been westernized and live in westernized towns and cities.
that would be like getting angry at showing a book with, Louis Braille and him using a cane or something like that. Be like, well, he's blind. Why is that a bad thing? Like, oh, but it's a stereotypical image. Like, oh, but why? Because he has a cane. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it.
Because most blind people, when they go out, they need to use the cane so they don't fucking run into things. It helps them see.
Yeah.
When you're on your own BP, you probably use a cane, right?
Yep, I use a cane. There were a couple.
It's not like you know echolocation. You can't just walk around going.
There are a couple of times where I've left my cane in Pink Hollow's car, and I have been able to take Alex across the street to his school, but that's because it's close.
Close, familiar, yeah.
Familiar, yeah. But if I had no cane, like
You probably wouldn't want to walk to the end of the block to go to the store or something.
No,
like
I
you
would
never know. What if your neighbor, it's dangerous too. What if your neighbor put a trash can or there was a rock on the sidewalk and you tripped on something like that?
Is parked halfway on the sidewalk. That
Sure,
always
yeah.
happens.
And it's also a good indicator to us seeing people. Oh, hey,
There's a
that
blind
person. There's a blind person coming. I'm not going to back out of my driveway. I'm going to let them pass first.
Yeah.
So they're not thinking, oh, somebody's just walking along. They'll see me back out. Think again, jackass.
Yep.
They're stereotypes for a reason, and in most cases, they're not even stereotypes. They're just cultural norms.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
There's
nothing wrong with
cultural
normal,
norms.
abnormal. They're just terms that help us identify these things. And
Yeah.
part of this overall arcing theme that we've been talking today about head meeting wall, it's like we have norms for a reason, and they want to tear down these norms because that's the easiest way to get to the core of society and tear down the society they purport to hate, even though most of them live quite comfortably brought into this society.
Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I just this is insane. It
really
so this
is.
continues to say and to think I saw it on Mulberry Street has its young protagonist imagining an increased fanciful street parade with Inuits with sticks, a Raja with rubies. Oh no, so lots of different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
In a
Oh,
parade.
and these people who are against this stuff are probably, and we've been saying it before, they're projecting because they are the actual white supremacists. They want to erase other cultures.
Yeah.
Because these are depictions of other cultures. It's not like, the minstrel shows of blackface where they're actually using it as a tool to make fun of a group of people. This is educational where they're saying, yeah, this is kind of what happens in that culture. This is how that culture dressed. This is the types of things that were associated with that culture valued.
Yeah, I don't understand how we went from trying not to be racist to being like.
Well, I don't even think that we were trying. We just, like I said before, when we were kids, you and I, like, it was mostly you just looked if the person was good or not good. I don't want to say bad or evil because that's kind of an extreme, but yeah, are they good or aren't they? If they're a good person, they're a friendly person, they're a person. And then later you say, Mom, have you met my friend Mike yet? Oh, no, I haven't. Are you sure he's the Chinese kid?
He's the yeah.
Oh, I did see him because your parents are like, Mike, how many Mikes do I know? You know, like
Right.
it's
And you
it's
say,
it's
he's the Chinese kid, remember? And you always add the extra one. He's great with, art, or he's the guy, he's the kid who
descriptive.
won the science fair last year,
Yeah,
or he's
descriptive words. You're not using them pejoratively. You're
no.
using them as a description.
Yeah. Like I would not be annoyed if somebody was like, "Oh, have you met, Blind Press?" No. Or are you sure she's the blind lady who does
With the
whatever?
stunningly blue eyes.
Sure. If you need to say that, she's the blind lady with the blue the Liz Taylor looking prosthetic eyes, or she's the blind lady with the YouTube channel that
With the
talks
two
about
kids and
Star
the
Trek,
driving
with
ape
the two
husband.
kids and the like it's
Again,
a
they're
descriptive.
descriptors.
It's not,
Yeah.
a blind person. Bleh. Like it's a descriptor. It I don't understand what's wrong with that.
Easily. Select a boy, ask a question. What do we have to do to go back to those times, Dr. Functional? And really, we just need to reopen the asylums
Yeah.
and start treating crazy people as the crazy people they are. Now, if we were to do that in this climate, it's not that easy because chances are they would be putting the wrong people, the wrong think people into these institutions. How we fix it ultimately, I don't know. We just need to keep doing what we're doing in pushing back against bad ideas with good ideas.
Agreed.
Better ideas, and keep fighting for the ability to speak freely and openly.
That's why I do this podcast. That's why podcasts like this, and Minions and Ranting Monkeys podcast, like that's why it's all so
That's why these
important.
people are so important. Yeah. Even if you have 5 people or 5,000 people watching, you can't be dissuaded by that. You just have to keep talking.
Yep.
Because eventually there's going to be enough people talking about the same thing, and hopefully the better ideas win out, and change will go back the other way. We'll go back to a sense of normalcy. Do you remember when times were normal? Like, geez. The 90s were great. People were making money. Society was flourishing. Good ideas were propagating and spreading like wildfire.
People valued good character
And merit?
and
Yeah.
merit.
Yeah.
You had to earn shit.
To get a job, you had to be worthwhile hiring for the job. It just wasn't, oh, well, we need to hire a black and a woman by day's end, or
Yeah.
we're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
What? Like, come on.
Tomorrow we need to hire 5 trans people.
For this nuclear can-do reactor.
Yeah.
And how many of them have nuclear engineering
Well,
degrees?
that doesn't matter. They have to be
Don't worry
trans.
about that. We'll figure something out.
Yeah,
What-
they
wait,
have to
what?
be trans, though. It doesn't. Screw their
But they
education.
have to be trans.
They have to be trans. Yeah. Ugh, it's crazy. And on that note, we've made it an hour for both of us ranting away and banging our head against the artificial, or the figurative
Virtual
wall.
wall, yeah.
Yes. But I hope everybody enjoyed themselves, and tomorrow there will be a Beat the Blind Girl stream because Mr. Alex
Nice.
will be back to school tomorrow. And then Friday there'll be a coffee stream, and Saturday it's gonna be the rivalries of church.
I can't wait.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
There's some good ones. There are
There
some
are.
really good ones, and
There are.
I hope people like. Oh man, yeah.
It'll be
I'm not,
fun.
I was gonna start talking about it, but nope, we're gonna save that.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Functional, for joining me.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
And we will see you guys later. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. And we are proof that there are angry Canadians out there.
Very true.